Thank you so much. Needless to say, I'm overflowing with joy today and so happy to be here and excited about seeing all of your faces and about the opening of the exhibit here. And earlier it was mentioned it's been 2 years that we've been working to get the exhibit here, and I'm glad it's finally opening. And also wanted to note that this marks 10 years since I had a seed of an idea about the book Giving Back, the idea of lifting up stories to reframe what philanthropy can look like and what it does look like historically and traditionally in the Black community. And in fact, earlier I think Birgit mentioned the National Conference on Black Philanthropy. So in 2006, I was part of forming a giving circle, a group of African Americans in Charlotte who decided to pool our charitable dollars to give back. And coming together, the process of forming our circle, hearing the lament that Black giving isn't often portrayed in the media or on the headlines, and usually when people talk of philanthropists or think of philanthropists and philanthropy, it's rich old dead white guys, and seldom the traditions of giving in our communities. So over the course of that year, I know I had observed that and experienced that, and hearing my other circle members share the same. I was at a conference and I had the idea about the book. And I was like, wonder if we lifted up those stories and paired it with black and white photography and brought it from a cultural point of view, not from an academic or white paper that often exists in studying Black giving. But what if we make it something that everyday people can have on their coffee tables, on their shelves, and have access to? And so I partnered with Charles and we started the project. But I kept the seed of the idea to myself for about 4 months. And it was at the National Conference on Black Philanthropy on a road trip from Charlotte to DC with some of my Giving Circle members that I felt safe enough to reveal this little secret, this idea that I thought was pretty awesome, but didn't know if anybody else would. And they were equally as excited as I was. We talked about it the whole drive up to DC. And took a while to make it happen, but we did. The book came out 6 years ago. About 3 years ago, we were able to reimagine it as an exhibition, and I'm thrilled beyond words that Atlanta is one of the second cities in the country to commit to bring it. In the first national tour, it was mainly to college campuses, and it was funded under a grant. But since then, it's the responsibility of a community to make a decision to bring the exhibit to the community and to host a community conversation. We want the exhibition, the imagery and stories are nice enough, but what's really important is the conversations it can stir, the relationships that are forged, the collaboration it requires. That's really where it hits the ground and where it really can make a difference. And so it opened earlier in Portland, Oregon, known as the whitest city in America, and now opening in Atlanta, known as the Black Mecca. I'm like, West Pacific Coast, the Atlantic, Southeast. There's a whole range of cities and communities all in between geographically, demographically, that can host the exhibit. You guys have set the example, provided bookends. We just need cities filling it up and booking it. And one coming up following Atlanta is Columbia, South Carolina. And I think we have some folks from Columbia in the house, so I want to give them a shout out. Thanks. It opens there in February. So if you didn't get enough here in Atlanta, come on up to Columbia, to South Carolina. And one particular note, I want to mention that you'll see the images, or you've seen the images of the hands that are featured on the cover of the book. You'll see it featured prominently in the exhibition. That's my great aunt Dora Atlas, who inspired me, the greatest philanthropist I know. And she's 96 years old today, lives independently, still drives on occasion. You'll see her story inside. But I wanted to bring Aunt Dora into the room, and then also give a huge thanks for all the people in Atlanta that make this possible. Birgit, who's been on this journey with me for the last 2 years, host committee members, the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta for committing to it and investing resources and making this happen, not only the exhibit, but the civic engagement part that makes it particularly exciting. So with that, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Hammond's House and Auburn Avenue Research Library for hosting it, for saying yes to bringing it in, providing the resources to make it beautiful and artful and accessible. So thank you all.